Folks, thank you all for coming this morning. We're going to go ahead and get started. We'll probably have a few more coming in as we go, but we've got the room put on a pretty tight schedule today, so we need to go ahead and begin. On the committee members, thank you all for coming. I want to make a few comments before we get started, and then we'll go over our report here. Just give you a highlight of a few things that we've done in here. On the dish money, we're putting all of the $21 million in this budget, rather than there'd been some talk about rolling that over into the 12. We're going to be able to go ahead and fund that here. Another thing I think we can be proud of is we were able to fully restore the $2.4 million, $2.5 million for the public health cuts. Another item that you'll see that'll be spread throughout, and I'm not going to go through each one of those spreads, but on the state health benefit plan, we were able to take the $56 million and spread it around and generate some matching money to come up with the $85 million that we need to fully fund the state health benefit needs through there. So you'll see this scattered throughout. Now you have your sheets here, and what I'm going to do is just go through the items where we have made a change that we had discussed earlier in our previous meetings. If you look on the first page there, the 17.3 ABD, this was where some contracts, we picked up some savings for some disease management contracts that were canceled, picked up an additional 1.5. This next item, 17.4, reflects the actual settlement collections received to date from the pharmaceutical companies for errors on fraud charges, an additional $800,000 cut there. On 17.7, this just reflects a 4% cut to that contract, like all the other contracts had. That one did not receive a cut, so this just makes them even with the other. Under the next item, 17.8, shows an additional personal savings from a high turnover rate there. Under 17.10, indigent care, this is what I mentioned earlier, where we were able to take the governor's recommendation of the $17.8 million, go ahead and fully fund that. This provides for the intergovernmental transfers to all the private hospitals to pull down their share of the disproportionate hospital funds. So we'll go ahead and do that in this 11 budget. Under 17.11, we had discussed this earlier about this PSIP program where the folks were being moved into the private insurance. We had to make an adjustment there because it's taking a little bit more time to get these people enrolled in these programs due to what they have to go through to get in there. So that's the reason for that. This will help them continue to purchase the high-cost clotting factor in the meantime until they get into that program. And the next item, 17.12, just trues that up. There was an error in the governor's budget, and this transfers it simply into the correct program there. That's all that does. 17.15, this reflects the actual settlement collections received to date from the pharmaceutical companies for error or fraud charges. That's an additional $100,000. And a big item, 17.17, this is the $2.5 million where we eliminated the cuts to the county formula grant and aid to our public health, so county boards of health there. And under 17.18, this is where we had the $56 million, and we were able to go in there and spread that throughout and come up with the full funding to take care of the needs of the state health benefit plan. And committee members, that basically is the highlights. There's one other, let's see, under your Cancer Coalition, last page, it's 40.22.6. This just eliminates the $45,000. This is where they eliminated the chief operating officer position, and that is reflected in that cut right there. Any questions or comments? You ready? Yeah.
Chairman, I appreciate everybody on this, and especially us able to find and restore the $2.5 million from public health. That'll definitely be important to the citizens. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments, members? Do we hear a motion? Motion to do
Second.
pass and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. I want to thank you all for coming, and especially want to thank Margie, our budget officer, for the hard work they've done to put all this together for us. Thank you very much.